welcomes you all to this beautiful Kalpakshetra for an event on the one and only spiritual icon, Akkamahadevi. We do not need a philosopher to tell us that life is an amalgamation of joy, sorrow, pain, birth, and death. We cannot opt for one and reject the other, for they always come in twos, like two sides of the same coin. This evening we bring to you stories and vachanas of Mahadevi Akka. She, as we all know, is an experience. We will talk about her, sing her vachanas, and remember her as a great. But before we begin, I would request all of us to either switch off our mobile phones or put them on flight mode. Let's just take a minute to do that. And if we have already done that, that's great. Please allow me to introduce the group to you. We have on stage, Gil is a professor in religious studies department of the University of South Florida. He has a series of published books and articles on religious literature in the Kannada language and South Asian Bhakti traditions. His court of the Nehru Fulbright Fellowship and the National Endowment for Humanities. Gil. We have a young lad accompanying us today. He is none other than Vishruta. Vishruta A. Dhanya is a student of music. He's learning yakshagana, chende, tabla, and saxophone, and Carnatic vocal. So he's accompanied several renowned Carnatic vocalists on the tabla, and he's a student of vocalists on the tabla, and he's a student of 10th standard, currently studying at the Arivu School at Vishruta. Our musician for the evening is Sri Ranjini Simha. Born and raised in Mysore, she began learning music at a very tender age. She's a master's in Carnatic classical music and has performed in several platforms in the United Kingdom and enjoys primarily collaborating with cross-cultural musicians. She currently teaches music at the Arivu School. Sri Ranjini. So, the stories of Akka. And before we begin, I would like to kind of take you back in time to a small story about Akka. And more than a story, I would just like to recite that to you. Give me a minute, please. Yeah. Okay, I don't have it here. Yeah. This is a beautiful description by Akka, and the minute you hear the words, you can just visually imagine that picture. It says, riding the blue sapphire mountains, wearing moonstone for slippers, blowing long horns, O Shiva, when shall I crush you on my pitcher breasts? O Lord, white as jasmine, when do I join you, stripped of body's shame and heart's modesty?
ಶಿಲೆಯ ಮೆಟ್ಟಿಕೊಂಡು ಕೊಂಬಬಾರಿಸುತ್ತ ಹರಿಸುತ್ತ ಕೊಂಬಬಾರಿಸುತ್ತ ಹರನೇ ಎನ್ನ ಕುಂಭಕುಜದ ಮೇಲೆ ನಿಮ್ಮನೆಂದಪ್ಪಿಕೊಂಬೆನಯ್ಯ ಎನ್ನ ಕುಂಭಕುಜದ ಮೇಲೆ ನಿಮ್ಮನೆಂದಪ್ಪಿಕೊಂಬೆನಯ್ಯ ಅಂಗಭಂಗ ಮನಭಂಗವಳಿದು ಚನ್ನ ಮಲ್ಲಿಕಾರ್ಜುನ ಚನ್ನ ಮಲ್ಲಿಕಾರ್ಜುನ ಚನ್ನ ಅರ್ಜುನ ಇಂದ್ರನೀಲದ ಗಿರಿಯನೇರಿಕೊಂಡು ಚಂದ್ರಕಾಂತದ ಶಿಲೆಯ ಮೆಟ್ಟಿಕೊಂಡು ಇಂದ್ರನೀಲದ ಗಿರಿಯನೇರಿಕೊಂಡು ಕೊಂಬ ಬಾರಿಸುತ್ತ ಹರನೇ ಎನ್ನ ಕುಂಭಕುಜದ ಮೇಲೆ ನಿಮ್ಮನೆಂದಪ್ಪಿಕೊಂಬೆನಯ್ಯ ಅಂಗಭಂಗ ಮನಭಂಗವಳಿದು ನಿಮ್ಮನೆಂದಿಗೊಮ್ಮೆ ನೆರೆವೆನೋ ಚನ್ನ ಮಲ್ಲಿಕಾರ್ಜುನ ಚನ್ನ ಮಲ್ಲಿಕಾರ್ಜುನ ಚನ್ನ ಮಲ್ಲಿಕಾರ್ಜುನ ಮಲ್ಲಿಕಾರ್ಜುನ ಚನ್ನ ಮಲ್ಲಿಕಾರ್ಜುನ
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. I wish to thank all of you for coming, Madhavi ma'am for organizing all the participants. We just heard a vachana by Akka. And in addition to her beautiful, poignant poetry, known for her life story, being a very passionate Bhakta of Shiva, Chenna Mallikarjuna, right, and worshipping him, but coerced into marrying a non-Shaiva, a person called Kaushika, in this marriage, until dramatically walking out of marriage and roaming the land naked, with only the hair of her head covering her body, composing poignant poetry for Shiva until uniting with him. Now, I'm very, very happy to present a very recent work published, translations of Akka's life story. Not just Akka, all those Sharanas of the 12th century, including famous and many others, their lives were captured very early, starting maybe 50 years after they lived, in the end of the 12th century, beginning of the 13th century, by a poet called Hampeya Harihara. And me and my teacher and guru, R.V.S. Sundaram, sat down years ago already, even before COVID started, and started to translate these stories into English. So I'm very happy and proud to say it has been out this month by Oxford University Press. And I'm even more proud and happy to say that Oxford, India has agreed. I'm even more proud and happy to say that Oxford, India has agreed to run a local print of this to make it available. It will be available in a few weeks on Amazon.in, but we left a page there for you to leave your email addresses, and if you will, we will notify we will notify you when the book is available here in India at a local price. So, what we're going to do tonight, I'm going to read short passages from Harihara's story about Akka, and then Madhavi in English translation by A.K. Ramanujan. And of course, Sri Ranjani, accompanied by Vishruta, will play for us the Vachana in the original Kannada. But what I'm going to read to you is not Vachanas, but Ragale, which are the stories by Harihara about the Sharanas. And we begin in Akka's worship of Shiva.
That's right.
In worship, she touched the god outside and within herself. In worship, she touched the god's image fixed in her emotions. She took form in the linga, and the linga, without the slightest difference, both took on form in the worship. Gazing, laughing, pleading repeatedly, she experienced love. Singing, blessing, the scent of her body mixing with the pure fragrance of incense. The fragrant odor of her lotus heart became one with the incense. Lovingly, she of lustrous face waved lamps. A spreading glow emanated from the surrounding golden vessels, and from her amassed merit. And a spreading shine issued from deliciously cooked rice. Portions of sweet balls, of milk cakes, and of milk rice glittered, and in addition, mounds of vegetable dishes, sweet as nectar, glittered. Satiated the god, she nodded. Feeling herself to have been fully fed, the hairs of her body standing on end. As she made her offerings, she presented to Shiva a worthy taste that he favored, placing before him beauty, grace, and a rich variety of ingredients, embracing without hesitation, offering scented, sanctified water, and applying fresh camphor, furnishing Shiva with pleasing betel leaves, waving auspicious lamps, waving gem-studded lamps, yearning to see the embodiment of the unstoppable and unborn. She recited and sang the birth of new devotion. In a song, she sang the knowledge of the God who discharges arrows wholeheartedly and continuously. She sang and produced a gem of a song from the river of the sentiment of devotion. She sang, growing into liberation, while grounding her renunciation in devotion. She sang pleasingly, loudly, elatedly, wholeheartedly, and unsparingly.
Listen, sister, listen. Listen, sister, listen. I had a dream. I saw rice, betel, palm leaf, and coconut. I saw an ascetic come to beg, white teeth and small matted curls. I followed on his heels and held his hand, he who goes breaking all bounds and beyond. I saw the Lord, white as jasmine, and woke wide open.
ಅಕ್ಕ ಕೇಳವ್ವ ನಾನೊಂದ ಕನಸ ಕಂಡೆ, ಅಕ್ಕ ಕೇಳವ್ವ ನಾನೊಂದ ಕನಸ ಕಂಡೆ, ನಾನೊಂದ ಕನಸ ಕಂಡೆ, ನಾನೊಂದ ಕನಸ ಕಂಡೆ, ಅಕ್ಕ ಕೇಳವ್ವ ನಾನೊಂದ ಕನಸ ಕಂಡೆ. ಅಕ್ಕಿ ಅಡಿಕೆ ತೆಂಗಿನಕಾಯಿ, ಅಕ್ಕಿ ಅಡಿಕೆ ತೆಂಗಿನಕಾಯಿ, ಅಕ್ಕಿ ಅಡಿಕೆ ತೆಂಗಿನಕಾಯಿ ಕಂಡೇನವ್ವ, ಕಂಡೇನವ್ವ, ಅಕ್ಕ ಕೇಳವ್ವ ನಾನೊಂದ ಕನಸ ಕಂಡೆ, ನಾನೊಂದ ಕನಸ ಕಂಡೆ, ನಾನೊಂದ ಚಿಕ್ಕ ಜಡೆಗಳ ಸುಲಿಪಲ್ಲ ಗೊರವನು ಚಿಕ್ಕ ಚಿಕ್ಕ ಜಡೆಗಳ ಸುಲಿಪಲ್ಲ ಗೊರವನು ಗೊರವನು ಭಿಕ್ಷಕ್ಕೆ ಮನೆಗೆ ಬಂದೇನೋ ಭಿಕ್ಷಕ್ಕೆ ಮನೆಗೆ ಬಂದೇನೋವ ಕಂಡೇನೋವ ಅಕ್ಕ ಕೇಳ ನಾನೊಂದ ಕನಸ ಕಂಡೆ ನಾನೊಂದ ಕನಸ ಕಂಡೆ ಮಿಕ್ಕು ಮೀರಿ ಹೋಹನ ಬೆಂಬತಿ ಕೈ ಬಿಡಿದೆನು ಮಿಕ್ಕು ಮೀರಿ ಹೋಹನ ಚನ್ನ ಮಲ್ಲಿಕಾರ್ಜುನನ ಜನ್ನ ಮಲ್ಲಿಕಾರ್ಜುನನ ಕಂಡು ಕಣ್ತೆರೆದೆನವ್ವ ಅಕ್ಕ ಕೇಳವ್ವ ನಾನೊಂದ ಕನಸ ಕಂಡೆ ಅಕ್ಕ ಕೇಳವ್ವ ನಾನೊಂದ ಕನಸೆ ನಾನೊಂದ ಕನಸ ಕಂಡೆ ಕನಸ ಕಂಡೆ ಕನಸ ಕಂಡೆ.
Mahadevi was 16 years old. Beautiful Shika passes through her town, Urutadi, and sees her for the first time. Unable to compose himself, he summoned all his ministers. Then, feeble and beside himself, he groaned pitiably and said, I can't survive. Until that time comes, I will lurch through death and rebirth. Why are you all just standing there in silence, you idiots? Go on, all of you. Will you not back me up? Help me out? Turning away from them, he called out, Oh, Mahadevi. Turning away from them, he called out, Oh, Mahadevi. Wait right there. Don't leave. I've become your servant. I swear to you with my life. Please, don't leave. Thus, he cried out with his eyes shut. So he sends ministers to ask Mahadevi to marry him, but she refuses because he's not a Shaiva. The ministers put pressure on her parents. The parents' devotees fell to the ground The parents' devotees fell to the ground. With stunned expressions and shedding copious tears, they exclaimed, Oh daughter, dear daughter, if you keep refusing, we will endure a terrible death. Is that what we two old people deserve? Is that what we two old people deserve? Devotion which is thrilling for you has become our ruin. Why would it be so difficult for you to live with a non-Shaiva worldling? Weeping, she turned to her father and said, This terrible union is very difficult for me to accept, and it's not right. Then she turned to the ministers and stated, I'll do as you've said and nothing else. And you will approve the following requests of mine. To rejoice in Shiva worship as I please. To take part in Shaiva gatherings as I please. And to serve at the feet of my Guru as I please. And I will also spend time in the company of your king. I will also spend time in the company of your king. Whenever I choose to do so.
I love the handsome one. He has no death, decay, nor form, no place or side, no end nor birthmarks. I love him, O mother. Listen. I love the beautiful one with no bond nor fear, no clan, no land, no landmarks. White as jasmine is my husband. Take these husbands who die, decay, and feed them to your kitchen fires.
ಅವಿಲ್ಲದ ನೋವಿಲ್ಲದ ಚಲುವಂಗೆ ನಾನೊಲಿದೆನವ್ವ ಎಡೆಯಿಲ್ಲದ ಕಡೆಯಿಲ್ಲದ ತೆರೆಹಿಲ್ಲದ ಕುರುಹಿಲ್ಲದ ಚಲುವಾಂಗನುಲಿದೆನವ್ವ ಅವಿಲ್ಲದ ಕೇಡಿಲ್ಲದ ಚಲುವಾಂಗನುಲಿದೆನವ್ವ ಎಡೆಯಿಲ್ಲದ ಕಡೆಯಿಲ್ಲದ ತೆರೆಹಿಲ್ಲದ ಕುರುಹಿಲ್ಲದ ಚಲುವಾಂಗನುಲಿದೆನವ್ವ 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 ಭವವಿಲ್ಲದ ಭಯವಿಲ್ಲದ ಭಯವಿಲ್ಲದ ಚಲುವಾಂಗನೊಲಿದೆನವ್ವ ಭವವಿಲ್ಲದ ಭಯವಿಲ್ಲದ ಚಲುವಾಂಗನೊಲಿದೆನವ್ವ ಕುಲಸೀಮೆ ಇಲ್ಲದ ನಿಸ್ಸೀಮನ ಕುಲಸೀಮೆ ಇದೆನವ್ವ ಇದು ಕಾರಣ ಇದು ಕಾರಣ ಚನ್ನ ಮಲ್ಲಿಕಾರ್ಜುನನ ಚಲುವ ಗಂಡ ನೆನಗೆ ಈ ಸಾವ ಕೊಡುವ ಗಂಡರನೊಯ್ದು ಈ ಸಾವ ಕೆಡುವ ಗಂಡರವಿಲ್ಲದ ಕೇಡಿಲ್ಲದ ಚಲುವಾಂಗನುಲಿದೆನವ್ವ ಎಡೆಯಿಲ್ಲದ ಕಡೆಯಿಲ್ಲದ ತೆರೆಯಿಲ್ಲದ ಕುರುಹಿಲ್ಲದ ಚಲುವಾಂಗನುಲಿದೆನವ್ವ 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 ಚಲುವಾಂಗನುಲಿದೆನವ್ವ.
So in this way, Mahadevi, Akka, is brought to the wedding with King Kaushika. Mahadevi of Urutadi looked at the stunning Mahadevi of Urutadi looked at the stunning gem-studded stage and grieved, feeling within herself the burning of a deep pain. She went to bathe in turmeric waters and prepared to have her body decorated. She donned new silk clothing, painted with sacred ash, and put on new ornaments, including gold and bejeweled necklaces and chaplets made of pearls. Then she stood up and in utter dejection looked at the stage again and thought, why the huge fuss over this wedding? Wine watered with boiling liquid, she shriveled. Like a hamsa bird, hearing thunder from the sky, she was alarmed. Like a female chakori bird scorched by the sun, she was deflated. Like a female bee sucking on an unripe fruit, like the moon digit reminded of Rahu who swallows it, she shrank. Like the chadage bird deprived of rainwater, she was parched. In her distress, she exhaled burning breath that made the ornaments she wore like a flower scorched by sunlight or a lotus spoiled by frost, like a puppet on a string blotted with pitch black paint. She was reduced to naught, anguished, distressed, and fearful. She shuddered, losing strength, growing feeble. She shuddered, losing strength, growing feeble. Wretchedness increased. Piteousness surged. She felt abandoned. In her desperation, she silently cried within herself, "O Shiva, the root cause of all existence, a moon bearer, peacemaking God, How could I be handed over to a non-Shiva worldling? How could that be? Where can I voice my distress? Alas, who is there to hear me? O Shiva, O Shiva.
Husband inside, manage them both. This world and that other cannot manage them both. O Lord, white as jasmine, I cannot hold in one hand both the round nut and the long bough.
ಒಳಗಣ ಗಂಡನವ್ವ ಹೊರಗಣ ಮಿಂಡನವ್ವ ಎರಡನು ನಡೆಸಲು ಬಾರದವ್ವ ಒಳಗಣ ಗಂಡನವ್ವ ಹೊರಗಂಡನವ್ವ ಹೊರಗಣ ಮಿಂಡನವ್ವ ಎರಡನು ನಡೆಸಲು ಬಾರದವ್ವ ಒಳಗಣ ಗಂಡನವ್ವ ಚನ್ನ ಮಲ್ಲಿಕಾರ್ಜುನಯ್ಯ ಚನ್ನ ಮಲ್ಲಿಕಾರ್ಜುನಯ್ಯ ಬಿಲ್ಲು ಹಿಡಿಯಲು ಬಾರದಯ್ಯ ಒಳಗಣ ಗಂಡನವ್ವ ಹೊರಗಣ ಮಿಂಡನವ್ವ ಒಳಗಣ ಗಂಡನವ್ವ ಹೊರಗಣ ಮಿಂಡನವ್ವ ಎರಡನು ನಡೆಸಲು ಬಾರದವ್ವ ಒಳಗಣ ಗಂಡನವ್ವ
And so Mahadevi lives the life of a marriage and with King Kaushika until on one occasion she and Kaushika were deeply engaged in delighting the senses. After they had had sexual intercourse, their bodies exuded the pleasurable sweat born from dense fatigue. Just then there came in a luminary who was highly venerated by Mahadevi. He wore long tawny dreadlocks and ear ornaments, carried a Shivalinga in his waistband, and had sacred ash smeared all over his body. He was dressed in a white robe adorned with Rudraksha beads and had wooden footwear. Shaiva devotees were in front of him and pupils behind, all merit and charm. When she saw them, Mahadevi was stunned. Taken over by fear, she leaped out of bed and forgot to put on a garment. The Guru saw her, naked as a baby, prostrating her full body at his auspicious feet, and said to her, "Dear girl, please, clothe yourself." Embarrassed and humiliated by the Guru's order, Mahadevi came to her senses on the spot. But when she stretched out her hand to grasp the delicate cloth that was on the bed, Kaushika, who was deeply jeered at her Leave it, leave it. Why would a great devotee, an extraordinary renouncer such as yourself, bother with clothing herself? And he yanked the cloth out of her hands. In response, she snapped, "My marriage to a non-Shaiva is now terminated, and renunciation has taken root. Devotion has arisen, and determination has prevailed. I have been saved. I have finally been saved." She turned away from him, devoid of any desire, clad only. She turned away from him, devoid of any desire, clad only in the hair of her head. Summoning the pure white and beautiful Mallikarjuna to the palm of her hand, she walked away. She bade farewell to her father and mother, prostrated herself at the feet of the Guru, and received his blessing. After removing the ornaments and handing them to the devotees of the unborn God, she parted from them all.
People, male and female, covering their shame comes loose. When the Lord of lives lives drowned without a face in the world, how can you be modest? When all the world is the eye of the Lord, onlooking everywhere, what can you cover and conceal? Cover and conceal.
ನಾಣಮನೆಯ ನೂಲು ಸಿಡಿಲೆ ನಾಚುವರು ನೋಡಿಲೆ ನಾಚುವರು ನೋಡ 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 ನಾಣಮರೆಯ ನೂಲು ಸಿಡಿಲೆ ನಾಚುವರು ನೋಡ 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 ನಾಣಮರೆಯ ನೂಲು ಸಿಟ್ಟಿಲೆ ನಾಚುವರು ಗಂಡು ಹೆಣ್ಣೆಂಬ ಜಾತಿ ನೋಡ ನೋಡ ಪ್ರಾಣದೊಡೆಯ ಜಗದೊಳಗೆ ಮುಳುಗುತ್ತ ತೆರಹಿಲ್ಲದಿರಲು ದೇವರ ಮುಂದೆ ನಾಚಲೆಡೆಯುಂಟೆ ಚನ್ನ ಮಲ್ಲಿಕಾರ್ಜುನಂಗೆ ಜಗವೆಲ್ಲ ಕಣ್ಣಾಗಿ ಚನ್ನ ಮಲ್ಲಿಕಾರ್ಜುನಂಗೆ ಜಗವೆಲ್ಲ ಕಣ್ಣಾಗಿ ನೋಡುತ್ತಿರಲು ಮುಚ್ಚಿ ಹೇಳಯ್ಯ ನಾಣಮರೆಯ ನೂಲು ಸಿಟ್ಟಿಲೆ ನಾಚುವರು ನೋಡ 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 ನಾಣಮರೆಯ ನೂಲು ಹೆಣ್ಣೆಂಬ ಜಾತಿ ನೋಡ ನೋಡ ನೋಡ
Urutadi, her town, and decides to walk to the mountain, Sri Shailam, the mountain where Shiva Mallikarjuna is found. She, feeling devotion to the incomparable Mallikarjuna, she, an internal repository of richness, of the beautiful Mallikarjuna, she, an internal repository of richness, of the beautiful Mallikarjuna, she, the joy of the beautiful Mallikarjuna, who is the source of compassion. She went with brilliance. Mahadevi, with love in her heart and with reverence, enriched by renunciation, The beautiful Mallikarjuna, who is the source of compassion, she went with brilliance. Mahadevi, with love in her heart and with reverence, enriched by renunciation, advanced swiftly toward the auspicious mountain. Protected by the absolute renunciation created in the complete purity of her heart, Mahadevi left the city of Urutali. She did not notice the people of the city who accompanied her. She did not count the attendants who walked with her. She did not show any interest in her lamenting father and mother who tagged along. She did not concern herself with those falling at her feet. It was as if the city's merit had taken on a female form and marched forth. It was as if the city's devotion to Hara had started walking in order to reach the mountain. The great devotee, Mahadevi of Urutadi, continued walking, having reached the sentiment of ultimate fulfilled. She walked with dedication as her footwear. She glowed with thick hair as her garment, with renunciation that she held like a white parasol, with devotion to the merciful God as her source of income, marked at the center of the palm of her lotus hand, radiant there, with her fingers as the 5 prescribed practices.
For hunger, there is the town's rice in the begging bowl. For hunger, there is the town's rice in the begging bowl. For thirst, there are tanks, streams, wells. For sleep, there are the ruins of temples. For soul's company, I have you, O Lord, white as jasmine.
ಹಸಿವಾದರೆ ಭಿಕ್ಷಾನಗಳುಂಟು, ಹಸಿವಾದರೆ ಭಿಕ್ಷಾನಗಳುಂಟು, ತೃಷೆಯಾದರೆ ತೃಷೆಯಾದನೆ ಕೆರೆದರೆ ಕೆರೆ ಬಾವಿಗಳುಂಟು, ಹಸಿವಾದರೆ ಭಿಕ್ಷಾನಗಳುಂಟು. ಶಯನಕ್ಕೆ ಹಾಳು ದೇಗುಲಗಳುಂಟು, ಚನ್ನ ಮಲ್ಲಿಕಾರ್ಜುನಯ್ಯ ಚನ್ನ ಮಲ್ಲಿಕಾರ್ಜುನಯ್ಯ ಆತ್ಮಸಂಗಾತಕ್ಕೆ ನೀನನಗುಂಟು, ಚನ್ನ ಮಲ್ಲಿಕಾರ್ಜುನಯ್ಯ ಆತ್ಮಸಂಗಾತಕ್ಕೆ ನೀನನಗುಂಟು, ಹಸಿವಾದರೆ ಭಿಕ್ಷಾನಗಳುಂಟು, ತೃಷೆಯಾದರೆ ಕೆರೆ ಬಾವಿಗಳುಂಟು, ಹಸಿವಾದರೆ ಹಸಿವಾದರೆ ಭಿಕ್ಷಾನಗಳುಂಟು.
As she came closer, the visible sight of Marinata made her feel whole. She stopped and held her hands cupped in reverence, began to sing songs. Then she set out again on her walk, heading for Sri Shailam, which she had never seen before. Wherever vines were, there was Mahadevi. Wherever charming gardens of flowers appeared, there was Mahadevi. worshipping Marinata among rocks in caves, worshipping Marinata on arriving at any clear pond, worshipping the god of dark throat wherever young mango saplings sprouted. A glorious worship filled with grace on rows of cool slabs of stone, a worship at the river bank packed with Hamsa birds. A worship at the river bank packed with Hamsa birds. A worship on the edge of a pond filled with lotuses in bloom. A true worship, undying, unbroken, unselfish, untainted. As she arrived in front of Marinata of the mountain, she proclaimed, "Whatever is for beautiful Marinata, it shall be done. I shall never again depart from the benefactor. Pray, fulfill what I have asked." Having uttered this, she drew nearer to the beautiful Marinata with patience and remained standing there quietly. "Lord, pray, show me the way to Kailasa. Lord, I am determined to see the feet of the daughter of the mountain. I do not wish to have my body tethered to a non-Shiva world listing, and I do not want it anymore. Pray, deliver me. Give me a body that is pure, a divine body, O Lord. Please grant this to me." As soon as she had said these words, a flying vehicle appeared, and her radiant luster quickly surrounded. Soon after this, a venerable chief of Shiva's attendants approached her, looking blissful. He stood delighted inside the winged chariot that had landed at the center of the mountain's peak, and granted Mahadevi a divine body. He transposed her into this body, a divine body. He transposed her into this body, while, to the astonishment of the lordly attendants who witnessed this, her former body disappeared. From amid a rain of flowers, from amid the crowd of the attendants of the god, the crowd of the attendants of the god, the winged chariot leaped to the sky to the sounds of Dundubi drums.
My husband comes home today. Wear your best, wear your jasmine, will come any time now. Girls, come, meet him at the door.
ಇಂದೆನ್ನ ಮನೆಗೆ ಗಂಡ ಬಂದಹನವ್ವ, ಬಂದಹ ನೆಲಗುವ್ವ, ನಿಮಗೆಲ್ಲ ಶೃಂಗಾರವ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಇಂದೆನ್ನ ಮನೆಗೆ ಗಂಡ ಬಂದಹನವ್ವ, ನಿಮಗೆಲ್ಲ ಶೃಂಗಾರವ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಇಂದೆನ್ನ ಮನೆಗೆ ಗಂಡ ಬಂದಹನವ್ವ. ಚನ್ನ ಮಲ್ಲಿಕಾರ್ಜುನ, ಚನ್ನ ಮಲ್ಲಿಕಾರ್ಜುನ, ಈಗಲೇ ಬಂದಹನು. ಚನ್ನ ಮಲ್ಲಿಕಾರ್ಜುನ, ಚನ್ನ ಮಲ್ಲಿಕಾರ್ಜುನ, ಚನ್ನ ಮಲ್ಲಿಕಾರ್ಜುನ, ಚನ್ನ ಮಲ್ಲಿಕಾರ್ಜುನ, ಈಗಲೇ ಬಂದಹನು, ಈಗಲೇ ಬಂದಹನು. ಇದಿರುಗೊಳ್ಳ ಬನ್ನಿರೆ ಅವ್ವಗಳಿರ, ಬನ್ನಿರೆ ಅವ್ವಗಳಿರ, ಅವ್ವಗಳಿರ, ಅವ್ವಗಳಿರ. ಇಂದೆನ್ನ ಮನೆಗೆ ಗಂಡ ಬಂದಹನವ್ವ, ಇಂದೆನ್ನ
during the course of this evening's program. If you have any questions for Gil, he'd be more than happy to answer. So please feel free to voice your thoughts, your concerns.
How did you experience the emotions? Because usually in the Indian culture, we are able to think and emotionally we are able to imagine. How did you do it?
The answer is simple, no? It's a previous birth, no? I don't know. But yeah, we can enjoy that. But I've been coming to India for, I don't know, almost 30 years now. And, you know, studying Kannada is a process of intimation, of becoming intimate with the culture and talking to its people and enjoying the texts. You know, I'm not Indian, enjoying the texts. You know, I'm not Indian, but I'm fortunate to have come here and do this work.
Mike Baker.
Yes, I heard you. I can repeat your question. The lady asked her saints of the tradition, of the Sharanas, Allama Prabhu and Basaveshvara, and how do I distinguish the different flavors of devotion or spirituality between them? And it's a fantastic question, I think, because they are very different. And it's felt. Experience today was Akka's Shringara, this erotic love for Shiva, right? And choosing him as her husband. But Allama Prabhu is very different, right? Allama Prabhu is a mystic, right? And he speaks of Anubhava, of this experience, boundaries somewhere which is beyond language. For him, it's not eroticism or worship even. It is a kind of a deep experience out of knowledge, right? The void. And for Basava, it's a lot about community work, right? Asoha, feeding the devotees and taking care of them. That's a very different. Soha, feeding the devotees and taking care of them. That's a very different approach. And I'm just recently understanding how this tradition, today we call it Virashaivism, Lingayatism, we all know. It right from the inception, right from these early stages, includes so many different approaches. Early stages include so many different approaches to experience God. And at some point, maybe 14th, 15th century, there is a text, Siddhanta Shikhamani, where they actually put this into a kind of an hierarchy of a sequence from duality, where till complete merging, which is Allama Prabhu. And so this tradition is very interesting that it includes very different flavors and experiences of the divine in that way.
Does that satisfy your question? Okay. Anybody else? Yes, sir.
So the gentleman asked if there are similar scholars doing similar work in the US or in the West in general. And it depends what kind of work. So on the way taught in academic institutions, and it's unfortunate, but I'm lucky in that way because I always feel I'm like making new discoveries that no one else has made before. But we know the fact is that Kannada literature is very rich and diverse and ancient. But in that sense, this work I'm doing, there are maybe, a handful of other people who work with Kannada in these materials. But a handful of other people who work with Kannada in these materials. But in terms of the conversation about Bhakti in South Asia, I founded with another scholar a network of over 100 scholars studying Indian Bhakti from different regions, different poems, songs, cultures, communities, different practices. Bhakti is not the same everywhere. Each tradition has its own history and life, but we are engaging in conversation. So I have people to talk to at different levels.
Figures like Akkamahadevi in other cultures.
So if you're asking like Akkamahadevi in the sense that she's naked, the answer is yes, actually. There is a Catholic saint who's famous for being naked. I don't recall her name. There is a
There, in Kashmir.
She's also considered a, but you're asking maybe in a deeper sense, right? This kind of, well, Akka, there is only one, right? But you know, it's a good question. If, you know, saints, can we compare? Can we compare saints from other religions to? Is Sharana the same as Sant? The same as Bhakta? The same as Nayanar? The same as Alwar? Right? Different regional, different traditions. So comparison will always have its prices, compromise. But we can have conversations with Catholic saints and Muslim saints and Jewish saints. Conversations with Catholic saints and Muslim saints and Jewish saints and so on.
I think Rabia Basra also comes very close to Akka.
In that kind of
Yes.
love to
Yes.
God.
Yes. She was from the Middle East. So, yeah, that is Middle East. So, yeah, that is one example that I can think of right now. Anybody else? Any questions? Maybe then we will just wind up with another vachana. Is that all right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe then we will just wind up with another vachana. Is that all right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before that, let me just
Yes.
again, you know,
Yes.
shameless self-promotion. Please write your name at that paper so we can email and notify you when this book will be available.
Sir, you want the mic?
Just a bit of self-promotion. We have been producing documentaries,
Yeah.
Yoga Purusha Basavanna, for which what we did was, instead of having a resource person here who would talk about Basavanna, we went to the places where Basavanna stayed. Basavanna Bhagewadi, Kudal Sangama, Basava Kalyana, and Basavanna. This documentary is on YouTube,
Yes.
Yoga Purusha Basavanna. I would like you to watch it.
Definitely.
And beautifully sung vachanas by Prabhu Sonna, who's also from that area. And you know, that area, music. So instead, in spite of being self-promoting, I would like to say, please watch it.
We all need to promote it. Thank
So
you.
this one? We will conclude with this evening's program with this one. This evening's program with this one vachana. I will just do a translation of this, and then Sri Ranjani will sing it for you. My body is dirt, my spirit is space. Which shall I grab, O Lord? How and grab, O Lord? How and what shall I think of you? Cut through my illusions, Lord, white as jasmine. Excuse me.
ಎನ್ನ ಕಾಯಮಣ್ಣು ಜೀವ ಬಯಲು ಅವುದ ಹಿಡಿವೆನಯ್ಯ ದೇವಾ ದೇವಾ ಎನ್ನ ಕಾಯಮಣ್ಣು ಜೀವ ಬಯಲು ಅವುದ ಹಿಡಿವ ಬಯಲು ಅವುದ ಹಿಡಿವೆನಯ್ಯ ದೇವಾ ದೇವಾ ಎನ್ನ ಕಾಯ ಮಣ್ಣು ಜೀವ ಬಯಲು ಬಯಲು ನಿಮ್ಮ ನಾವ ಪರಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನೆನೆವೆನಯ್ಯ ನಿಮ್ಮ ನಾವ ಪರಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನೆನೆವೆನಯ್ಯ ನಾನೆನೆವೆನಯ್ಯ ಎನ್ನ ಮಾಯವನು ಮಾಣಿಸಯ್ಯ ಚನ್ನ ಮಲ್ಲಿಕಾರ್ಜುನಯ್ಯ ಚನ್ನ ಮಲ್ಲಿಕಾರ್ಜುನಯ್ಯ ಚನ್ನ ಮಲ್ಲಿಕಾರ್ಜುನಯ್ಯ ಚನ್ನ ಮಲ್ಲಿಕಾರ್ಜುನಯ್ಯ ಎನ್ನ ಕಾಯ ಮಣ್ಣು ಜೀವ ಬಯಲು ಅವುದ ಹಿಡಿವೆನಯ್ಯ ದೇವಾ ದೇವಾ ಎನ್ನ ಜೀವ ಬಯಲು
and shared your experiences of Akka and also enabled us to showcase what we had in mind. And it is only with your support and encouragement that we can create such forums for people to come and listen and enjoy. I have to thank Anil sir and Kamala for having given us this space, Kalpakshetra. It's a beautiful space, as you can see. I want to thank Professor Gill from the bottom, as you can see. I want to thank Professor Gill from the bottom of my heart. He's a dear friend now. And Vishruta, the amazing tabla player, Sri Ranjini. Thank you. Thank you. Please do follow us, Mysore Storytellers Network. It's time for me to promote Mysore Storytellers Network. So it's very, very difficult to curate such programs. There's a lot of that goes behind just creating such programs and such stories for all of us to enjoy. We would like to have you all tell more stories, sing more songs, and enjoy life as it is. And may Akka bless us all. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. I want to also thank my team that is here, Purva Kalra, and Nikita Trust. They are a core team, and without the team, I cannot function. So a big round of applause for them. Thank you, everybody. Have a